It's time for Friday Fabulous Florida.
There is a gigantic alligator in my kitchen.
A look at the weirdest stories from our weirdest state.
Again, we are thinking of you, Floridians, because we know you're dealing with a lot. So even as we do these stories, we understand that this is a sliver of some of the weirdness that comes out of the world of Florida. But we know right now you're all hip deep in some real challenging situations with Hurricane Helene. So the aftermath will be something we continue to watch. But now, with that aside, I will tell you that a Florida man has had a heart attack, not when fighting hurricane waters that continue to rise, but after getting a lap dance from his maid, everybody. That's right. Wow.
That's sexy times.
Yeah, he did have a heart attack. She is a topless maid, everybody. And topless maids, I didn't know they were around, but they make $300 an hour cleaning homes. At least this one does. There she is on TikTok. And I guess she is talking about this. Sammy is her name, S-A-M-M-I, which is kind of the topless maid kind of name. Yeah, I like it. She apparently constantly updates her experiences with this interesting life she has being a topless maid. And one of her favorite clients is this Florida guy who is in his 70s, and he pays her to not only clean the house, but he gets lap dances as well.
Bonus.
Yeah. Well, the thing about lap dances apparently is that they can be so exciting.
Yeah.
That they can produce heart palpitations, and before you know it, you've had a heart attack. And that is sort of what happened here. He ends up almost dying as a result of getting this lap dance from his topless maid. Ricky says he'd do the cleaning and work topless for $150. Wow, well, that's something to consider. The Croc Ness monster, Florida gator. The Florida gator hunters search for a West Michigan alligator. This is Ottawa County, Michigan. And Dan Rooks said that residents should enjoy Labor Day weekend on and in the water. He catches nuisance alligators in Florida and returned to the lake where parents of Rooks still live. He was there to investigate and potentially capture what was reported to be a Florida alligator. Multiple reported sightings on this Ottawa County lake. Now, he spent 3 nights on the water, shining a light for the distinctive reddish alligator eyes, you see, Kim. They're peering over the water.
How do they know it's a Florida alligator? That's what I want to know.
Well, this is, again, in the world of alligator hunting.
Okay.
I guess is something that they're aware of. But he says there is no gator in the lake, that he has done 3 nights of surveilling the lake. And the 100-acre lake is alligator-free, he says. He says if it was there, it was gone when he did his check. And the speculation early on was that a small alligator was kept as a pet and released once it outgrew its home, you see. And then that's how it ends up in the lake.
That's pure speculation.
And that indeed is what residents swear they saw, a 4 to 6 foot long alligator. But this alligator hunter, who came all the way from Florida to make certain that his parents and other residents around the lake were safe, he says that they are indeed safe and there is no alligator there. A man is killed in a shooting after a dispute over, I know you're thinking drugs. Maybe you're thinking a woman.
Yeah.
No. It is over a jukebox song.
What?
Yeah.
People are passionate about their music. I get it. Yeah.
Apparently, there was a dispute over a jukebox song. It was at a Mexican restaurant in Fort Lauderdale.
What
The
song?
argument reportedly around 1:30 in the morning, and those arguments at around 1:30 can oftentimes be a bit more heated than the ones over at 10:30 in the evening. And at this restaurant, the Antojitos Mexicanos restaurant near Davis Boulevard, well, one man insulted another over his song choice on the music machine. One witness said, quote, I heard that there were two guys and they got into an argument because one of them played a song on the jukebox and the other guy kind of was pissed off. The guy that got insulted pulled his weapon and started shooting the other guy. The altercation escalated quickly, apparently. The man who insulted the song drew his weapon first, but the other man near the jukebox fired back. One of them played a song, said a witness, on the Rockola machine. And the other guy was angry and said, you're not a real Mexican if you play that effing music, you know?
Wow.
And the other guy was chasing him. The whole thing turned into an absolute bizarro gunfight. And one man is dead, Kim.
Over music.
Over music. It's crazy. People are wound tight.
Is there a song that you would, I don't know, I'm not shoot someone over, but would you make you feel violent inside, or that you would pay someone not to play on a jukebox if you were at the establishment? Is there a song that like gets you?
Oh, probably, but I can't think of what it would be. Why, do you have one in mind?
No, but there have been some good suggestions in the chat. Someone said it was the 1-800-CARS-FOR-KIDS jingle.
Oh, that's a good point. I haven't seen that show up in a jukebox yet.
William said that. Yeah, that's a good one. Someone asked was it a Taylor Swift song, said Calvin.
Oh, that, I would hope not.
Dennis said tequila. Yeah.
I mean, these, I have to say, it was an argument over the authenticity of the song if you're Mexican.
Right.
That was the point. Like, if you're a Mexican, you're not a real Mexicano if you play whatever song it was. I don't know. You Light Up My Life is, that's not a bad choice for a song that you like. I don't need to hear it again.
Yeah.
But I don't know.
Baby Shark. Yeah.
Baby
that'll
Shark.
do it.
Yeah.
It's My Way by Sinatra in the Philippines.
I say.
Oh, okay.
Anyway, one man is dead and the other man is in custody. So there was also this to round out Florida. A Mailboat rescues a Florida man who tried to swim across a river in Florida. I see. This was a Florida man who was, he was swimming across a river, but it wasn't in Florida. It was from Canada to Detroit. There is a river from Windsor to Detroit, and if you can swim, I suppose you can swim that river and cross it. But they launched a mailboat to rescue him because Ralph C. Wilson Jr. Tried to make this swim and became overcome.
Not quite like the water in Florida, is it?
No, it's cold.
Yeah.
And it was around 11 o'clock at night.
Chile.
That the deckhand on board this mailboat spotted this dude. And they got up alongside him and they lifted the man onto the deck of the mailboat. I've done this in the past, said the captain of the boat. This is the second one for me, in fact. Yes, they're all different. It's a real adrenaline rush when you go out, and it's a lot. That adrenaline kind of turns into a heavyweight because, especially as the captain, it's up to me to maneuver safely alongside and get the person out of the water. It was a 10-minute search. They spotted the guy who was paddling inside a life ring. Strong current, water temperature is about 73 degrees right now, apparently.
The Detroit River, yeah.
He made it halfway across the river, if you're curious, paddling in the life ring. Without them there, I don't know what would have happened, Kim. It's very possible he would have, not made it. He seemed disoriented and under the influence of something, said crew members. He was cold, but didn't have any physical injuries that they saw. We tried to get him to come inside the cabin and sit down, and he was just kind of kept pacing around the front deck, saying, "Is this boat U.S.? Are we going back to the U.S.?" I don't know. Again, this in coordination with Canadian authorities, they wanted to return the guy, at least the plan was, to Windsor, Ontario. He was taken to the Detroit fireboat and then transferred to an EMS unit. And that's the story of the man who tried to cross the Detroit River in just a life-saving ring. I know my favorite. We have to pick our favorites. We don't want to. It's in the bylaws of the show. I will remind you of what we've just heard. Florida guy almost dying after having a heart attack from seeing a lap dance in his home that he'd seen many times before from his favorite housekeeper, a topless maid. But apparently this one was the one that put him over the top. So he was taken to the hospital and cheated death at the last instant.
Yep.
So that's the lap dance from Housekeeper. The Croc Ness monster, the Florida gator hunters search for the West Michigan alligator from Florida. He now says that as an experienced Florida gator, he can tell that community they are safe. There is no gator in that lake. The man killed in shooting. The shooting was a dispute over the Jukebox song that was played at a Fort Lauderdale restaurant at 1:30 in the morning. And finally, the Mailboat rescue of a Florida man who tried to swim across the Detroit River. We don't want to pick a favorite, but we must. Kim, what is your... look, first we'll check the chat.
Yeah.
Housekeeper lap dance, 63% of the votes.
That's
wow.
high. Mm-hmm.
The only thing that really seems to be moving quickly in the live chat voting is Music Madness, which is the
That's
Jukebox.
pretty good.
Yeah.
I don't know. The poll might sway my vote. You know, normally I would go Croc Ness Monster. Anything gator related, it kind of grabs me. But
Sure.
Kim, how are you?
I'll say the Naked Maid. Yeah, Naked Maid.
Naked Maid.
Going
Very,
with
very
the
good.
naked nudie
right.
cleaning. A little dancing, a little cleaning, a little boobs. Excellent.
Yeah, I think that there's a lot to be said for it. I didn't realize it was a service that was offered.
Now that you know.
I'm not anxious to see my maid topless, and I'm sure she's not anxious to see me topless. That's the kind of rule around here. So I will also, I got to tell you, it is almost a photo finish for me, and I know there's gunplay involved, which is always scary.
Yeah.
But I got to say, that jukebox argument over a song, you know, and it turns into a gunfight, I mean, that's just so crazy. Like, what song is authentically Mexican is the thing that sets them off.
Yeah.
That is, for me, it's running so close with the lap dance from the Housekeeper. But let me see if, hang on a second. I want to see if there's anybody who, Gordon Andrews likes lap dance. If you were a gator, you'd be leaving Florida too. Lap dance guy, it was worth it, says Mercury. All right, I'll go with lap dance guy. Yeah, I'll go with lap dance guy.
You've been convinced.
Did you have a favorite, Tony?
Well, kinda. But it's this guy. But it's this instead.
It's the kayak guy. It's the Croc guy.
Kayak guy. That was the Croc guy. It wasn't
Let's
officially
say
in the
Croc's
competition.
Florida man. There we go.
All right. That's Friday Fabulous Florida for today.
This has been Friday Fabulous Florida.
There is a gigantic alligator in my kitchen.
Y'all come back now here.
Hi, it's Mark, and I thought that was great. Hit the notification bell. You'll know whenever there's a new video being dropped, and please subscribe to our channel to help us save the universe.